Hey everyone, something is shifting around XRP right now, and most people don't even see it, or they're completely misreading it. Maybe that's it, right? Because on the surface, it looks like nothing's happening, and price isn't exploding, headlines aren't screaming anything important, but underneath, regulation, liquidity, and infrastructure are slowly lining up. And if this continues, the next 30 to 90 days could look very different for XRP holders. Of course, this is not financial advice. Always, please do your own research. But today I'm going to break down what actually matters, right? And what most people are missing. And make sure you stay to the end because the last piece ties everything together in a way that changes how you look at XRP in the short term. So let's start with regulation because, whether people like it or not, this is still the biggest driver for XRP. Here's the reality. The market doesn't move on hype long term. It moves on clarity long term, right? And what we've been seeing recently, even without a single explosive headline, is a continued trend towards clear crypto framework globally. And now here's kind of where it connects is that XRP is one of those, few assets that has already been through a major legal battle in the US, right? And that matters more than most people think because institutions don't want uncertainty. They want assets that have already been stress tested legally, right? And this looks small and to some people, but it isn't. It isn't. It's like, oh, XRP won the case, blah, blah, blah. Price didn't go to the moon like some people were predicting, yada, yada, yada. I mean, it still did an explosive move during that time. I think it was like it went from 10 cents to $1.96 in that run, right? With the lawsuit dropped on them and then years of fighting it until eventually, of course they won, right? But if regulatory clarity continues tightening over these next few months, capital doesn't flow randomly. It flows towards the least legally risky asset first. And XRP is positioned in that conversation. So what this changes for XRP holders is that it increases the probability of institutional re-engagement. And sure, it hasn't happened overnight, but it's been very gradual. So let me ask you this: do you think institutions, are going to choose a hype like meme coin of some kind, or a legally battled, tested one, right? And I think the answer is kind of clear, but you know, and the answers also will tell you kind of where liquidity might go next, right? So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'd like to hear it. I do read every single one of them. If you find value in this page, please throw a like and a subscribe. We can help get this information to as many people as possible. So now at the same time, when we zoom out to like global payments, we're seeing increasing pressure on cross-border systems, slower settlements, higher costs, and geopolitical friction, right? And this is where Ripple's core use case starts becoming relevant again. Not in some crazy hype way, but in a plumbing of finance kind of way. And Ripple's focus has always been liquidity movement, not speculation. And so here's what I think some people are missing is that you don't need mass retail hype for XRP to benefit. You need efficient corridors for money movement. Even a small percentage of global payment flows becomes like more digitized or liquidity optimized. Like that's where assets like XRP will gain a lot of um, relevance. A lot of relevance in this new financial system that's being developed. XRP is more relevant than people realize, and some people are gonna catch up. The haters, they're gonna hate. Ainers are gonna ain't. But it's on its way. It's on its way. The FUD is at full, the top tier FUD right now. But that's just where it is when you're in a bear market, and we're kind of just in this consolidation phase, right? But like, would you rather hold something based off of like zero utility and has zero legal clarity, or something actually tied to real financial infrastructure? For me, it'd be the latter, right? Now let's talk about the XRPL itself, because this is another area where people are seriously underestimating what's happening. The XRPL has been like quietly evolving, focusing on things like tokenization, efficiency, scalability, and this is where it's getting interesting. Is that narrative around crypto is shifting from which coin pumps to which network actually gets used. right? And XRPL is positioning itself more as infrastructure than speculation. And this looks all boring to retail, but it's attractive to institutions. And remember, institutions move slower, sure, but they move a whole lot bigger than retail ever could. And what this changes is that it'll build a foundation for real usage catalyst, not just a price driven one, right? XRP is going to be used. It's not just because people are going to be buying it that the price goes up. No, it's the fact that it's needed and it's being used, which will cause the price to go up because the supply is going to thin out, right? And price usually will follow utility, but it may come with a delay. But that's nothing to be afraid of. So I think the question becomes like, are we early in that delay or are we near the end of it? I don't know. You let me know what you think in the comment below. To me, I think we're still very, very early, guys. I think we're very early. Like, we don't even have a Clarity Act out yet to give the rules of the road for this infrastructure ahead, right? So, of course, we're early. Now, if you're in crypto, it feels like we're late to the party because, oh, well, we didn't get Bitcoin in 2013. Well, whoop-de-doo. We're in it now, and we're going to see some major price appreciation in the future, I think. That's just my 2 cents. But, I mean, just it doesn't take a genius to put 2 and 2 together, right? Now, like, let's bring this into the market structure, okay? So, like, even if fundamentals improve, price was like still depends on liquidity. And right now the broader crypto market is like it's in a phase where capital is rotating, but it's not exploding, right? And in these environments, assets have strong narratives, and patience from holders tend to set up best. So XRP historically moves in bursts, right? It'll just be chilling, doing its thing, blah 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 blah, and then Shazam! She goes, she rips, right? And that means that like there's these long periods of boredom, and then it's followed by aggressive moves. And this is where it matters for XRP because if liquidity rotates back into large cap coins, XRP is almost always in that conversation. It's been like a top 5 crypto, top 10 at for sure, since the inception of Bitcoin. As soon as it came out, right? As soon as all these protocols came out, XRP's always been in the top 10, you guys. So like it increases the chance of a sudden volatile expansion. It's not. I don't think it's going to be a slow grind. I think we're going to get some explosive moves coming in the future. So like, are you positioned for that, or are you going to be reacting afterwards, right? I don't think you want to be reacting after. I think you want to be there before. Most people do the second. Most retail does the second. It explodes like, now I want to get some. I want to line up for XRP when it's at $150. But hey, when it was 15 cents, I didn't want it. When it was, like $1.35, I didn't want it, right? I think those people are gonna be kicking themselves later. I think that's gonna happen for sure. Just like the rest of us are kicking ourselves over Bitcoin. Who wouldn't have wanted to get Bitcoin when it was $1 a coin, right? So, like, XRP is still trading in a broader range. There's no confirmed breakout yet, but like key supports are holding, and that tells us that sellers aren't fully in control. And resistance hasn't been convincingly broken either. So there's 2 realistic scenarios, I think. We got this bull case where it's like you get XRP breaking out above resistance with a ton of volume, and then when XRP like tends to move very fast, very very fast. So that's one like scenario I'm looking for in April. And then of course we got another. I wouldn't even say it's a bearish case. It's just kind of more of like a base case. It's like continued consolidation, right? It's just frustrating, sideways movement, fundamentals are building underneath, and based on everything we talked about, like I think the next 30 to 90 day outlook is less about instant pumps, and it may be more about positioning before a potential expansion phase that's coming. And this is the part like most people will skip, but they only it only shows up after those people. They only show up after the movement, right? They're only going to show up after the movement. They're going to be haters, and then until there's a movement, and then they disappear. They'll be quiet. They're not going to say anything, right? So if you take one thing away from this video, it's this: XRP isn't in a hype phase right now. It's in a setup phase. Regulation is like slowly aligning. Utility narratives are strengthening, and market structure is coiling. And those conditions historically don't stay quiet forever. So I want to hear from you guys. What's your 2026 XRP price prediction? Drop it in the comments below. I read every single one of them. And if you got value from this, please subscribe, hit that bell for daily XRP updates. And if you're serious about leveling up in crypto, check out exponentialgroup.co. We do digital asset like holdings, LLCs there, and check out the Exponential Mastermind. As always, I really, really appreciate you guys. So be blessed, stay positive, and I'm going to catch you in the next one.